Using his freedom of speech to its fullest extent, it's John James and Freedom's Pep Rally. Now, America's friendliest host, your buddy, John James.
I see we've got Jimmy Lee waiting in the wings. It's happening before my eyes. We're doing it. Jimmy Lee, come on in, my friend. Wait, hold on. I've got to get some, I don't have audio here, apparently. I don't know why. There's Jimmy. That I was going to say, I think that was maybe Jimmy Lee's wife. I saw Jimmy Lee and I saw a woman and I thought, well, that's, maybe, I don't know. You never know today what's going to happen. Right? Jimmy Lee is here with us this morning on Freedom's Pep Rally. And I don't have any audio, Jimmy Lee. I don't know if you can hear me or not, but I don't currently have audio. Maybe we can fix that. If not, I can do it. Interesting. I don't.
Testing. You have me?
There we go.
Here we go.
I saw that.
America.
What do you got there? You got an RE20 or an RE27?
RE20.
RE20 classic right. Broadcast microphone. We're doing Geek Talk right now. Jimmy Lee, welcome to the show, buddy.
How you doing?
I'm doing well.
Thank you for having me.
No, thank you for being here. Tell us a little bit, or a lot, actually, about the Martin Luther. Oh, and this is the book.
Right.
This is the book.
Well, and, let me help you out a little bit. Thank you for having me on your show. I'm Jimmy Lee Tillman. I'm nervous, kind of, as you can see, the mic spinning around. That was my sister, everybody that's watching out here.
Okay.
That was my sister, not my wife. And you can't tell nowadays. That is true.
Yeah. She's very lovely. I've got to tell you, I only saw her for a brief moment on the small screen, but she's very lovely. Tell her that.
Well, she's listening right now.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah. Well, the name of the group is the Martin Luther King Republicans. And I started the Martin Luther King Republicans right after Barack Obama got inaugurated. I was in the Trump Hotel with me and a group of centrillions staying right down in a hall from Jennifer Hudson. Yep. And we was watching all the people of Chicago descend down to Grant Park. And on everything that's holy, I looked out the window of the great Trump Hotel. I told my sister, who you just saw, that it's over. It's over for black folks. Everybody in the room looked at me like I was crazy. I said, nah, y'all, it's done. It's done. It's done. They're going to say that we gave you all everything. Don't ask us for nothing else. Now, everybody in the room looked at me like I was crazy. I said, no. You all will see. So that the next day, after everybody was celebrating Barack Obama's victory, even I was celebrating, I formed the Martin Luther King Republicans because I wanted to let Black Americans know that we're going to be over here, the greatest Black American of our century, not all of America, but my century, Martin Luther King. We're going, who was a Republican. I'm a former organization off his principles, and we're going to be the next movement for Black American on some conservative points of view, which is what Martin Luther King stood for. And so we formed that organization, and we've been running since, like I said, since the day after Barack Obama got inaugurated. And that's what we've been doing from that point on. We've been trying to educate people that the history of Black Americans here have been with the Republican Party, that the fact the Republican Party was formed just for the abolition of slavery alone. You know, we can go all the way back to Lyndon Johnson and his great Southern strategy by signing the Civil Rights Bill, which did give the Democratic Party Black Americans to this day, you know, which did give us that. And a lot of people didn't realize there's a lot of shucking and jiving, meaning, you know, we lost our minority status, meaning that blacks was minority. We had a lot of rights, and a lot of things opened up for people with one leg, hunchback people. Everybody became minorities. You know, everybody became minorities. So the class got moved back. And so I decided to form a little operation to show that here in America, you know, like you talked earlier about the 1619 and critical race theory, but here in America, there was a movement really throughout America since the beginning, since 1776. I want to start right there. But here in America, there's always been a movement to free all Americans, not just Black Americans, but all Americans. And the Republican Party was the forefront of that. A lot of times we probably get lost in the history of the party, not knowing what they stood for in the beginning. But the beginning of the whole pretense of the party was to free the Black Americans and to make America on its free principles, what it stood for. And that's why I formed the Martin Luther King Republicans.
Wow. What a great story. What a great organization. The time for this is now. And why do you think there is so much divisiveness being put into our, and I think I know what the answer is going to be, but the left is trying to divide us by race. In fact, I get called racist on a regular basis by white virtue signaling leftists just for saying, a critical race theory is bad. 1619 Project is bad. It's divisive. They're trying to divide us, Jimmy Lee. Why?
Well, I've been on a couple of shows and I've coined it the Democratic Southern Strategy. You see, ever since General Grant and a successful campaign to free all Americans from slavery, the South really didn't like that. So they've been hundreds of years in getting their pride back from that defeat that happened to them. And just by dividing America on the grounds of race is how everything was seen in the South. But if you look at the history of America, it was not this racist country. I'm not going to say that bad atrocities did not happen.
Right.
But if you look at the founding of this country, like the 1619 Project or the critical race theorists, or they will have you believe that all blacks was in servitude and all whites were superior. When in the fact of the matter that blacks couldn't read, that was true in some parts of America. Blacks couldn't write. That was true in some parts of America, but not all of America. If you read my book, my handbook of great Black American patriots, I start off with two great Black patriots, Crispus Attucks and Phillis Wheatley. Now, I hit Crispus Attucks because here's this big 6'3" Black man, got shot by British soldiers, and all of America decided to go to war just because this Black man was murdered in the streets. He was America's first George Floyd. Then we have Phillis Wheatley here. Here we got Phillis Wheatley, a Black woman, a Black poet laureate, writing letters to General George Washington when he had doubts of going to war against the British. That is his campaign strong enough? She wrote him letters to, don't give up this fight. America's that your idea is too important to forego. So yeah, we had our fight for liberty and independence from the British soldiers, and yes, the Constitution was written, but yeah, America really wasn't living up to those principles. It was like 60 to 70 years before the Civil War came that Frederick Douglass and Harriet Tubman got the ears of Lincoln. Some scholars want to say Lincoln didn't want to free the slaves. Some scholars say it was forced to free the slaves, what have you. But if you want to look at how Frederick Douglass had the ear of a president and convinced him that in order to be this country that we are, we got to live up to the Constitution. It ain't about the individual. If the Constitution said all men were created equal, then we're not living by the Constitution. So under the Constitution, Lincoln went to war to make all Americans, whites and blacks, subject under this Constitution. So now we can look at Jim Crow Joe. Let's go Brandon. Let's go Brandon, everybody. Let's go Brandon.
Let's go Brandon.
Let's go Brandon, right. We're gonna look at Jim Crow Joe and his ascension to where he's at now. He employed the greatest Southern strategy on America that they have not realized. He issued the crime bill. He issued the 3 strikes you out. Now, with these bills done, everybody applauded them. Dope was in the country. No one knew where it was coming from. It was spreading everywhere. As a matter of fact, unbeknownst to most Americans, Black Americans supported Bill Clinton just because he thought they was going to prosecute Oliver North for the Iran-Contra scandal, for bringing the drugs in the community. But as soon as Bill Clinton got in there, he said, nope, I'm not going to do it. Now, at that time, drugs were real big. Now, let's follow me here. Bill Clinton didn't want to prosecute the Iran-Contra scandal. Democrat Bill Clinton didn't want to prosecute the Iran-Contra scandal. It brought drugs up in here in America. We hired him for that. Black America hired him for that. We got Jim Crow Joe. He then gives us a 3-strike shootout bill. He says that if you got 3 criminal felonies, your constitutional rights do not belong to you. Matter of fact, we're going to give you the crime bill, which is going to strip you, every Black American, of their constitutional rights. We're going to watch all Americans. We're going to watch all Americans applaud it. You can't assemble on a block no more. That's against the law if you're Black. In the Constitution of America, and here in America, you have a right to assemble. Illegal search and seizure. I can stop you at any time and pat you down. Under this Clinton crime bill, no one said anything. Now here we got Jim Crow Joe in the White House. And since no one said anything, he's going to implement the same policies on all America. You see, because all America stood quiet. They used the Clinton crime bill to give us the Patriot Act, which now is going to render us illiterate in our render of our constitutional freedom. And that's what's happening right now. And it all started way back then by allowing Jim Crow Joe to pass these heinous bills that everyone applauded because they want to get rid of drugs, you want to get rid of the crime. But it was unfair to arrest the users. You arrest the users and the dealers. I can understand arresting the dealers, but if there's no one dealing, then there will be no more users. Then well, let's put money in rehabilitation centers, but made everything illegal. But at that time, Blacks, whites, all of America thought it was revolutionary, not realizing that we're chipping away at something valuable. You see, what America don't realize is, in my book, I talk about it a lot, that our freedoms, everything that Black America has obtained here in America has been from the Constitution. All our rights, we will argue the Constitution and we would get what is owed to us. But so what the Democratic Party has been doing by using the Black American as that subject to all Americans, they probably find the worst of us and project it everywhere. And everyone, Blacks, preachers, Black Democratic caucus, everyone will say, let's rid it. Let's eliminate these constitutional rights that we really didn't like in the first place. The Democratic Party did not want slaves to be free. That's Blacks and whites. What people fail to realize that there were white people in slavery also. The South had big corporations, tobacco, cotton, textile, all of those things in the South. Now you had the plantation owners with all the profits of the money. You had white people on plantations. They didn't have no job clothing. Their job was just to oversee the Black slaves who had no job clothing. But the difference between the Blacks and the whites that's on the plantation is that the white man can get another white man, look at the white man, and the white man on the plantation life really was not worth that much as that Black man on the plantation who had to have insurance and all of those things. Because the white man on the plantation can always run away and become free and not be held to servitude as the Black slave at that time. You see, and so here you have the Southern strategy, which was to make the Black man, first of all, make him just like the degenerate, the fear that the South had of the Black man. They want to broadcast that all to all of America. You see, they won't tell you that people in the South will go to the North for freedom. They won't tell you that people in the North were reading and writing and was allowed to be married. The 1619 Project will have you think that all Black Americans are not free. They will tell you that in 1770 that you only got your right to vote in 1800s, when up north there was plenty of Blacks voting for Washington and those guys right there. And so what has happened, to answer your question, why we are so divided, is a miseducation of America to see that Black Americans, from the founding of this country, from Bunker Hill to the Alamo to Texas to Mexico, every major battle for every American freedom that is in this country, the Black man has shed his blood, not only built this country, but shed his blood. So the Southern strategy has been to eliminate that patriotism that the Black American has, that they didn't do nothing. They didn't fight for this country. They didn't fight for your rights. But from Bunker Hill to being spies to assisting, we've been at every turn. And to be honest with you, it wasn't to Trump. Till Trump came out that I realized how united America really was. Now you can look at the streets and see that we were divided, because it's easy to see division when you see Blacks and whites arguing.
Right.
If you look at Black Lives Matter, how many white people's in Black Lives Matter? How divided is that? You got whites and blacks screaming for Black Lives Matter.
Yeah.
You go to a Make America Great rally. How many blacks are screaming, let's make America great?
Right.
So where is the racial divide? We do have our prejudices.
Yeah.
Everyone has a prejudices, but racism sells. And if you have race, if the Democratic Party can promote racism and white guilt,
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
then you can have a separation until you can say that in the army, whites and blacks are shooting the same enemy. On a football field, whites and blacks are playing together. Here in America, we are more together than we are divided.
Amen.
It's just good ratings. It's just good ratings.
Amen. And they're dividing us. They are, and unfortunately, the younger people are so quick to teach. They're very malleable, and they're teaching them these falsehoods that do continue to divide us, and they're going to grow up thinking that the white kids are going to think, well, we're bad, we're oppressors. They're going to hate themselves, and the black folks are going to think, well, the white people oppress us. They are bad, and we aren't worthy. When the fact is, Jimmy Lee Tillman, we are all one.
We're all one.
I like nice people. That's all I care about. Are you a nice person? Do you have morals? Do you love America? Then come on in. You're my friend. And we're on the same team.
That's the same team. Now, I don't mean to cut you off, but let me give you a flip side. Instead of white children saying that I'm all bad because of that oppression that I did, they can take the negative part and say that this is mine and you aren't nothing. Instead of a black person saying, well, that white man oppressed me, I'm going to be angry at him. I can take the mindset and say, oh, I'm never going to be nothing because they said I wasn't nothing. See, it's a double-edged sword. Yeah. It can make white folks feel depressed or empowered, and black folks feel empowered or oppressed. It's a double-edged sword. It's trickery. It's evil.
Very good, very, very good point. I've got to ask you, Jimmy Lee, why is it that we're always hearing from the left about minority neighborhoods being kept down, that the voter ID laws are racist? That is it the left working overtime to convince Black America that they need the government's help in order to be anything? Or is that just a story? Is that truth?
There's some truth to that, but there's a lot. Let me give you an example. We hear saying Black community are under siege with violence and crime. Earlier, we had defund the police. Now, a lot of Black politicians are screaming, that's not us. We're not with defund the police. But here's the irony. In a lot of these Democratic cities with these Democratic mayors, you have a lot of police officers saying, we're not going to take the shot. You got a lot of Democrat politicians saying, we're going to fire you. What's the difference between defund the police and firing police officers for not having vaccinations? So what I'm saying is that the laws that the Democratic Party, well, I'm going to say the Progressive Party, because some Democrats do not feel that way. A lot of blacks do not even see that they're in this. So I would say the progressive ideals is to make blacks dependent on the government, that they're less of humans because they did it with stripping us of our rights. That if you saw a police officer stop a man and illegally pat him down and search and steal, you drive by, well, it must be a drug dealer. Not say, hey, this guy got rights. You have no right to do that to them. Or I can come in your house without a no-knock warrant because, hey, illegal searches, I can do this to you because drugs, because of drugs. You have no rights now. You see, and that fear of, see, here's the funny part. Open borders, no wall. We went to the crime bill earlier saying that we don't know where these drugs are coming in from. Black community was saying, we ain't got no planes, we ain't got no trucks. True that. How are they coming here? Now we know. Across the border, Mexico, fentanyl. Right. You have a drug problem here, the wall stops it. You see, what people didn't realize, the wall was so great for the Black American community because it raised the wages up because there was no depressed wages for the illegal immigrants coming in. It opened the factories up because the illegal immigrants take all the factory jobs, and it depressed the drug market to the point that they had to start legalizing drugs because the wall was going up and they couldn't bring no legal marijuana in here.
Yeah.
So they had to make it illegal.
Yeah.
You know, like the money going. But that is what happened, and it's right there in the face. You see, one thing because let me give you something, because I'm all super patriot. Trump made me Superman, patriot, Captain America, all of that, because the division that they said was dividing and the hatred that was so out there, the black and white hatred for Trump. You see, the union that Trump brought blacks and white together under one hatred, and the union that Trump brought blacks and whites together in the love of God and country, which is really unique.
Yeah.
That in order for the powers to be to separate America, the black race must feel that they're not a part of America and that the whole oppression is coming down. When the black race has helped build this country up, fought for this country. So the whole plan from when I was a little boy to saying this ain't your country, the army is not a good place for the black man, the media, how they put it in the media, how they put it on your mind. Once upon a time, TV shows were showing blacks and whites together, different strokes, Facts Alive. You know, you saw black kids and white kids coming together trying to get over that hump. You didn't see you're not my friend, you're not my neighbor. You saw them integrating, and that was once upon a time America trying to show you that we're all Americans. Then all of a sudden you start seeing programming showing that, well, the police got me down. Well, I'm always going to be hit down. Well, all these problems are going to hit me. So you got the media adding on to this black man, this ain't your country. Black man, they will never love you. Black man, go somewhere. Black man, go back to Africa. When reality, myself, I can't go back to Africa like the average white man can probably go back to Ireland, Spain, probably go back to their great grandmother and go back to their hometown. The descendant of a slave, been here since 1619, probably before, and really can't go back. All they know is Mississippi, Alabama, Louisiana, and probably the northern population. But to convince these people that you're from another country, this is not your country, when you've been here longer than them, and then convince a group of immigrants to come over here that, well, these people are here, they're not Americans neither. You're more American than they are. See, there's a system here to divide America by keeping not the people of color, because people of color can always say they're white. Hispanic can always say I'm white and turn on the black. Asian can say they are, but the original black American, I'm not going to say descendant of a slave, the original black American who was here that fought for this country, that helped build this country. There's outside people who want to take over this country internally, and they benefit by dividing the black and white because of the pain. There is pain. You can't deny the pain. I won't have to go back to the slavery days, but there is pain in Jim Crow. There was pain in busing. So you can have those pains, not that far. So, but instead of working on healing that pain, they tried to promote the pain. Reagan back in the day did so much educational wise to try to fix America by showing you programs like Roots, Story of Miss Jane Pittman, you start seeing autobiography of Frederick Douglass. You start seeing things back then in the early 80s of trying to educate people on the history of America. But then people looked at that and only harped on the bad part. They looked at the slavery part of Harriet Tubman or Frederick Douglass, not the part of him overcoming that and making America great. They looked at Roots and only saw Kunta Kinte getting whipped, not seeing his descendant Chicken George buy his freedom, go fight for the war, go buy some land to say we're all Americans now. We finally became a part of what my people wanted to be. They just only harp on the bad part because for some sick reason, people believe that it makes white folks feel good that they was empowered and black folks feel bad that they were enslaved. And this is what sells. We just had Colin Powell, a great black American, just passed.
Yeah.
You know, Colin Powell was the only black American that all American, Democrat or Republican, respect. It wasn't about party. It It was about what did you do for this country? What was your works for this country? And if you look at his life works, what he did, you cannot say that black men cannot lead this country or be part of this country. And you had a great man like Colin Powell, can be a statue of what American is. Son of an immigrant, went through all the racial stripes that it was, then let that hold him down, saying America is great. You see, we want to say America is not great because there's people in America who wants us to be separated by color and not by content. You know, not by what you do for this country, but by you're always going to be black. You're always going to be inferior because 1619 said that.
Right.
I'm a white man better than you, and you're black, and going to be less than me.
So this is what they're trying to do. They're trying to rewrite history. And Hannah Nicole Jones, who is the author of this 1619 project, is gaining a ton of ground because they're talking about this. This one woman has put together this curriculum that the mainstream, the left, seems to be embracing completely, wholeheartedly. And you're right. It's all about dividing us. And sure, there is racism in America. There is xenophobia in America. There are people who just are ignorant and don't look at people by the content of their character and their heart. They look at them simply by the color of their skin. And when a white person like me says, and this actually happened when I say, look, I like nice people. I'm colorblind. I am not racist. And I can sit here and I can say that matter-of-factly. And they will come out and they will say, well, if you say you're a racist, you're a racist. So how do you win? I mean, how do we bring people back together who have been indoctrinated into thinking the critical race theory mantra that whites are oppressors and blacks are oppressed, or vice versa? We don't want that. We just want to live in harmony. Ebony and Ivory. You remember that? Paul McCartney and Stevie Wonder.
That's
Love
who we are.
that. Love that.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you know what the critical race in 1619 project failed to call out is the indigenous Indians who also had the black Americans enslaved also, who fought in the Confederate Army. The reason why you had the scalping, it wasn't scalping of Indians, it was to prove you had a runaway slave and they were scalping black people. You see, the true thing is that the Indians get a far break on the treatment of black Americans. I'm chalk talk, not because I claim Indian, because they had my people in slavery and just same thing. I probably got white in me too, because same thing happened on their plantations. And the indigenous Americans felt they was Americans too by capturing us. You know, we can, instead of running away for freedom, we ran away and we saw some other people of color and they did the same thing to us also. But the 1619 project will not talk about that, those atrocities that happened to Americans. You see, it's just more than a white man that was benefiting off of black American slavery. So did the Indians also. You see, if you want to tell the true story, let's put it all in. So if you want to cry about Christopher Columbus saying that a white man came in here and all Indians became slavery, I'm with that. Black people's over here and the Indians also enslaved black people and refused, after the Civil War, refused to overturn, to give their slaves freedom. They refused to do that. So there were slaves under Indian jurisdictions refused to give their freedom after the Civil War. But these stories are not being told. We're just going to focus on the black and white because that sells.
Absolutely. Jimmy Lee Tillman, by the way, Martin Luther King Republicans, and just an amazing voice. By the way, there's a PBS interview I will post on social media later. I went to the link that I had, and it was, they had removed it from the PBS site, but I found it. It's easy to find. It's called Red, White, Blue, and Black, What Patriotism Means to Black America. Now, you are a true American patriot, and I love that. And you've got a great voice. You are a great voice in letting people know that they're trying to divide us. Look, and have you ever been accused of not truly being black because you're conservative? We heard.
Oh yeah. Let me tell you, I got more flack doing. I was proudly Republican during Obama, and I just got patted on the back like, yeah, looked at me over like, whatever, nothing to see here.
Wow.
When Trump came on, I became the most hatedest man in America, and it blew my mind, friends and family. So I enjoyed it because I got to point out all the great things that the president did that Obama didn't give us. Police justice reform, criminal justice reform, police reform. He funded black colleges $42 billion, and now, now, I don't know how many black audience or listeners you have out here, but I'm gonna share this on my page. So if you're listening and watching this, call your senator, call your congressman right now, and make sure if you go to HBCU that $41 billion that is taking out the $42 billion that Trump gave to black colleges that does not go to this Build Back Better bill, does not go to the traffic bill. It should go back where it belongs because he funded black colleges, so they want to come back to the Congress and beg for more money. You see, you talking about unequal opportunity education. Well, I'm gonna fund black schools. Why? So black teachers can come back and teach it. See, he even lowered insulin, the price of insulin. People don't know how much diabetes does hurting black. There was so much. He took so much off the table that was left on the table that black Americans was crying and screaming about, that Joe Biden has no argument now. That's why they're running around here trying to make a racial issue, trying to make a deal, trying to say a George Floyd bill. Trump already did it. A criminal justice bill, it's already been done.
Yep.
Police reform, Trump has already put that in order. That police are going to be looked at. People didn't even fail to realize that under the Trump administration, and I love saying that. People hated me for saying it. Cops were going to jail. You see, they were going to jail and being prosecuted. You see, we were getting justice. Prior to that, slap on the hand. Trump people got prosecuted. That was on Obama watch and all the way through. So once upon a time, as a black man, I wasn't scared of police like I was under the Obama administration, figuring they needed the head count up. There was accountability. So now that Trump is out of office, I get my black card back. You see, my black card is back because I can tell y'all, let's go Brandon, done got rid of $42 billion. Let's go Brandon, done carry Haitians at the border. Let's go Brandon, done got people locked in the cages. Let's go Brandon.
Let's go Brandon. I love what that's become. That is that, you know, and it's so true, and we can get away with saying it on the air because there's nothing dirty in that.
No, it's not. Let's go Brandon.
Oh, that was. I take it you saw the interview with that race car driver where that actually happened.
Oh, yeah.
That was and it was on NBC. It was perfect. Even the reporter couldn't help but laugh, and because this Joe Biden is going all over their airwaves, and so she says, "Oh, hear them chant." Let's go, Brandon. Oh my word! That was the funniest thing I think I've ever seen.
And that's the new code word. I'm trying to pump it out here. Everybody today, if you feeling depressed, angry about the situation, run outside and scream, "Let's go, Brandon!" Everybody, let's go, Brandon. We're not taking no more.
That is so good. You're a great American. You are standing up for freedom. You're standing up for the founding documents. And yeah, America, we had horrible sins. All men are created equal. That was not lived up to. I will be the first to admit that. That is deplorable that wasn't lived up to when America was founded. But it was rectified. It was changed. We have the civil rights movement. We are literally making progress, and we weren't thinking about race during the Trump years. We weren't thinking about it until George Floyd. And then it was the mainstream media. It was open season. It was open season on divisiveness. You had Black Lives Matter came into existence under Barack Obama, for the record. Yeah, right. We had to remind Barack Obama that our lives mattered. That was the true thing. We even told Bernie Sanders, "Hey, Bernie Sanders, our lives matter." As a matter of fact, the funny part is, see, the Democrats are going to lose their Black Americans. I ain't gonna say African Americans because there's a lot of people from Africa that's here in America, and they're African Americans. They're gonna lose their Black Americans because they're infighting.
They're stripping them all. They're seeing the progress that Trump, even though they're not saying it, they're seeing the progress that Trump has given Black America. Low unemployment. Where's it at now? You know, the unemployment numbers in the Black American community went right back down to it was pre-Obama. Under the Trump administration, your gasoline, gas was cheap. The food, the cost of the value of life in America was greatly improved under the 4 years of Donald Trump. Matter of fact, in his first year, he got more done in his first. He didn't do nothing for 3 years. He had everything done his first year. 3 years is the number to fight. So you couldn't say he didn't do nothing. I can list out things that he done for the Black community over and over and over again. But the problem is the Republican Party don't want to promote it. They should promote it. You know, whenever Trump is in the party, to take a walk and need to realize that the party has changed. This is a Trump party. Trump is at the door. Black Americans, we are here in the Trump. We are here in the Republican Party. Trump has showed us that America is great. You see, when he said, let's make America great again, most of my friends said we're going back to slavery. We're going back to Jim Crow days. I saw we're going back to the days of President Grant when he went down there and said, let's let Black Americans be part of the government. We got congressmen. We had can you just imagine this? Once upon a time down in South Carolina, a man named Smalls was a slave. He came back. He's your congressman now. You got him as your governors now. You see, let's include these Americans into the government. See, that was what when America was great. America's always been great when it included the Black Americans in it, and that is what Trump did. You see, he put us on an equal playing field, whether America knew it or not. You see, he even talked about the Constitution. He put the Constitution so front out, constitutional rights. He made you look at the Constitution and realize, hold on, I have constitutional rights.
Right.
They talked about during other administrations how important the Constitution was because they were stripping us of our rights right there in our face. So this time we had an opportunity to, right now, this is what everyone's talking about right now. Constitution, democracy, Constitution. No one's talking about our democracy or Constitution during Obama, Clinton, Bush days. You know, if they was, we wouldn't have the Patriot Act. If they was, we wouldn't have the Clinton crime bill if we were so focused on the Constitution. And right now, our eyes are laser focused on it. Whether you like Trump or voted for Trump right now, you realize, hold on, our rights are being violated. You're realizing that the Homeland Security, let me talk about racism. Whether you are with the Haitian immigration or not, I'm not with the immigration status, but they do fit the status of refugees, for the record. You got Hispanics coming in by the millions over planes. 15,000. We're going to enact Trump's policies just for these people right here. But we're going to turn a blind eye to Latino speaking immigrants who have America. Who see, the funny part about it is to be in a conquered country. If we was a conquered country, we have that country speaking our language and abided by our laws like the Hispanic government has us here. In order to get a janitorial job, in order to wash dishes, you have to be bilingual. If I am a white American, I ain't gonna go Black American. If I'm a white American with no GED, times are hard. I ain't gonna say live in a trailer park. Times are hard. Since only in America, only 2 people get on a welfare, and I'm white. I can't. It's so many. But if I speak Spanish, I can get more welfare than I can being American, and I can get a job being American. I ain't got to go to school. I just got to be bilingual, and I can make it here in America. But if I'm an American citizen, I can't get the benefits. I can't get on welfare. I can't get a Section 8. I can't even get a janitorial job paying minimum wage.
Wow.
I'm going to turn a blind eye to that. You see, I'm going to turn a blind and look at these Haitians who are a country that we have so much involved in. I'm going to say, you can't come in here because you're going to offset the flow of our country. But we're over here letting these people over here come in here, and we're going to change all our rules. They can get free housing. They can get free credit. They can get all the benefits that a poor, uneducated white man can get.
Right. Absolutely. And assimilation is now a bad word. You can't say illegal because nobody's illegal, because that's inhumane. And you can't say assimilation, where everybody has to walk the walk and talk the talk of an American. That's all this country ever asked of people, to come here legally and assimilate our laws and
our language.
Our language, exactly.
If you can't read, then how can you get a job here in America? If you can't read the language, you should not be able to get a job here in America. You should not be able to vote in America. If I got to change my ballot to assist you in voting, then you can't read the name on the ballot. Then you failed the first test of being American, and that's passing language law. So you shouldn't even be able to vote.
Amen.
See, these are things that they're doing to just divide us.
Yeah.
And it's saying people of color is not for black folks, it's for Latino Americans. So see that the bait and switch is they got Americans thinking that we're doing this for the black Americans. We're really doing it for the illegal immigrants.
Right.
See? And the Clinton welfare reform made it so that you got probably 2 or 3 kids. That's all you tapped out. No more welfare. But if you're a legal immigrant, you have 9 to 10. 9 to 10, and we'll take care of you. But not an American. We'll put you in the front of the affordable housing line before an American who's homeless.
Right.
See, this is what they're doing. But if you shun down upon that, if you're black in the Democratic Party, speak upon that, you get looked upon as being, come on, we're doing this for all of us, not knowing that an uneducated black person now is way, way behind the bottom of the line. And now an educated white man now is right behind fresh off the boat, a legal immigrant who can get a job because they plugged in here, press 1 for Spanish, read this language of Spanish. Right. Matter of fact, the biggest hustle in America is I'm a translator of English to Spanish so I can help these people vote or help these people get around.
Right.
Instead of learning the language, passing immigration laws, take the test. Become an American. Matter of fact, join the service. If you're going to come, why you not? Okay, you're over here legally. You're in the army now. I don't care. 2 generations serving in the army. You know, fight for this country, die for this country. Just don't come over here and get a job. Okay, you here. We counted you. Here's a gun. Here's a badge. Go over there. Go to Afghanistan. Go to Iraq. Go. Then let's see how many people will come over here quickly if they know that one of the reasons to stop quickly.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
Fight for the country. You got to fight for this country, die for this country like the black American has. That's my take on it.
Amen. And they won't. They won't. They don't want to. They just want to come here for what you say: jobs, free housing, free handouts, free. You know,
right?
And the Democrats want to change the demographic, and by doing that, they are hurting Black America more than anyone by letting this flow, as you said earlier, this flow of illegals come in here and take all the jobs. And where does that leave Americans? We have in one of our cities here in Maine, Portland, Maine, we have they're welcome. Come on in. We'll take you. We'll take you from Haiti. We'll take you from Afghanistan. Many of these people are unvetted. They don't know who they're getting. They're putting them up in hotels while the homeless population, who are by and large Americans, are sleeping in the parks and on the streets.
What's the plan? See, that shows that there has to be a plan of America first. You see, America first. You see, that was the dirty word that Trump said, America first. And when he said that, see, here's another dirty secret. Trump made Black Americans feel that they was Americans, which is something that should not have happened. Right now, in the Biden administration, there's more Black people dissatisfied because they see it in real time. You see, Biden election woke Black Americans up because they was here's a temperature check. They just knew Hillary was going to win. Barack Obama won. We got Hillary. The shock factor hit him so much. Oh no, how can I be wrong? I can't take it. I'm never wrong. So I'm gonna hate this guy. And now he gotta go. Now he's gone. Like, what did I just do?
Yeah, exactly.
What just do? Exactly. You mean tell me what just happened? Now, guy, you lied to me. You said I was gonna get $2,000. I didn't get that. You said I was going to free college. I didn't get that. what all the promises you made me. Trump did in his first year with the Republican Congress and Senate. Why can't you do this? And they saw what Trump was able to do, and they seeing what Joe Biden can't do.
Right.
And this is where they lose people, because they saw that in Trump's first 7 months, his whole platform was done.
People are waking up. People are waking up. And I don't see too many people out there on social media pushing at Trump anymore. I see a lot, Joy Reid and Joe Scarborough and all of the CNN talking heads still Trump hate. We hate Trump. Trump is, still the party of Trump. But by and large, people they're over Biden already, and probably many of them who are waking up wish they had somebody like Donald Trump back. And like you said, he gave more to HBCUs in 4 years than Obama did in his 8 years. And I mean, the proof is in the pudding, but they don't look at facts. And so now that Black America is waking up, correct me if I'm wrong here, Jimmy Lee Tillman, now that Black America is waking up and saying, this has been a terrible mistake, they are letting the illegal flow continue because they need to replace the votes they're losing with people they know are going to vote for them because, they let me into the country. I'm going to vote for Joe again or whoever runs.
Well, that is so true, but unbeknownst to them, most Latinos, because of their Christian background, go Republican, and that backfires. But here's a striking number. In September, I want to say September, Biden had 86% of the Black American vote. Is down to 68 now.
Yeah.
It is down to 68.
Yep.
And that, you see, you always going to have the high 80s as a Black Democrat. Once you drop down to 60s, it's over.
Yeah,
See,
absolutely.
It's over. See, so right now, it's just a time for the party. See, they separated something from Trump, but to promote what Trump has done for the Black Americans, and they will show that will show them that Republican policies benefit Black Americans, and then they will come and draw. They will have. The Black man will come back to the Republican Party like they did with the last time we voted big, thick was with Nixon. Nixon did so much for the Black American. People want to look at that. We benefit more on the Nixon policies than anything, but we want to look at Watergate, and he's staying at Watergate, but not by the policies and how your life was in America. Just that one stain. I always feel that they put that on Nixon just to hide his policies. Matter of fact, Nixon wanted Ed Brooks to be his vice president. Black man to be his vice president once upon a time. He was so far ahead in thinking.
I didn't know that.
Right? Yeah, he wanted. See, these are things that they just throw you Watergate and say how crooked he was, like they trying to do Donald Trump. They will always say that he do nothing for the Black community, Black Americans, what have you. Racist. George Floyd, America burnt. They will just highlight on that part. Not everything that I listed. Right. History will always show you that. My sister told me I got to plug my book in for a second. Hold on, everybody.
Please do, because we're almost out of time.
Right. This is Tillman's Handbook of Great Black American Patriots. You can get it at Amazon, Barnes & Noble. But you can also go to lulu.com, LULU.com, or Tillman Family Press. Now, my book is a list of 28 great Black Americans that my sister also told me it's a guide to historical parks and landmarks where you can go visit them. I'll make sure you get a book. And I got a list of every place that America noted that all these great Black patriots, because they listed landmarks and places where you can go see them. But let me just end it on this. I talk about Dr. Charles Drew in my book. We want to say how racism spreads and how everybody want to keep us divided. Charles Drew made a plasma machine to save Americans in the war. The reason why he fought the war because we were able to get more citizens back out, more soldiers back out there on the field. So the biggest lie they said was he was injured in a car accident, and because he was Black, he was denied the services to render him life. Now, as a Black man, I grew up as that, thinking like, man, how can this Black man sit here and make this machine to save all Americans, and he died because he was Black? Man, America's racist. To find out that they worked tirelessly, 72 hours to keep the man alive. His body was mangled so desperately that they couldn't save him. but the other black guys that was in the car with them, their lives were saved. But I want to say how just that one little lie to somebody black like me in school, learning that here's this black man did so great for America and was denied service. See, those lies were always told through history, that blacks were always denied. They died because of that. This great man would die because of this happened to him, you know, which is untrue. So the name of the book is Tillman Handbook of Great Black American Patriots. You can go to tillmanfamilypress.com and purchase the book, or Amazon or lula.com. And thank you for having me. I hope your audience enjoyed me. And you can check out, hold on, MartinLutherKingRepublicans.com. You can find the webpage there and see what us Black Republicans are doing. Or if you want to know about me, Jimmy Lee, you can go to JimmyLeeToDC.com and check out all my things I've been doing and possible my future runs I might be having in the future. You can check me out there. I'll make sure I get you a book so you can see your audience and make sure your audience can see. And maybe when I come back, we can go through my book.
Oh, that would be so awesome. Jimmy Lee Tillman, you are amazing. I love this. JimmyLeeToDC.com, MartinLutherKingRepublicans.com. Check it out. And I'm going to leave you with this. Okay, Jimmy Lee? Let's go, Brandon.
Let's go, Brandon.
Yeah.
Let's go, Brandon.
Yeah.